Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining real land investment talk. When I can talk.
When you can talk.
I'm Steve and Jack Pizzella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about creating access for your land.
Ooh.
Access.
Oh. Last time I checked.
Can you think of any other topic that causes more confusion and more discussion than access?
I was going in a different direction. If I think of anything more important?
No, I can't.
Access of all the 4 A's, which we should talk about here in a moment. I think that's probably one of them. I mean, for me, that might be number one.
It is number one for me.
Okay, thank you.
It's the first thing I look at on every single deal, including like really serious urban properties. There's a lot of times there's no access to urban properties.
It's true. I don't care how gorgeous it is, but if you can't get there, it doesn't do you any good.
So we'll talk about it in a second here.
Cool.
Before that, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Brandon asks, I have a larger parcel that I'm buying, and on Google Earth, it looks like there is really old dirt road to the property. It looks like it is overgrown.
Oh, this is perfect.
And would be hard to drive on.
It's perfect for the topic.
I'm wondering if it would be worth the money to pay someone a few $100, I'm not sure how much it costs, to clear off the road and make it more accessible. The overgrown road does connect to a county road, so I think it would be pretty easy to do. Just not sure if it's worth the money to have someone do it before I try to sell it. Would this add value, and has anyone ever done this?
This is a great question.
And it's love it.
Perfectly timed for this
episode.
Yeah, this topic. So I've done this. I have bladed. It's called blading roads in. You know, those big, huge caterpillars with the blades on the bottom. That's what they use these for. Grading. Mm-hmm. So in this case, if you have determined that, here's the problem with looking at Google Earth and seeing that there's a road there. That's really good news. That's actually like passes my first test. Can you get to the property?
Right.
The second thing is, if it's a valuable piece of property, I check the plat map to see if there's little dotted lines, which are platted easements, so everybody can drive through that section of the property, or that section of someone else's property. Technically, we all look at it like it's a road, but it's not. It's a section, a portion of someone else's property. It's called a platted easement. And
so you're saying making sure with the plat map that it's a legitimate road before you go out and put a lot of money into it.
Yes.
Not just something someone just kind of made on their own.
Right.
Make sure it's legit.
And if that's the case, and 8 times out of 10, that is the case, that the road's in the right place and you're not going to upset anybody.
Right.
Blade away.
Yeah.
It's really cheap. I've had it, get this, I've had it cost $1 a mile.
Wow. Well, that's better than what I was going to say. Like, we were joking about, one of our members one time said he was going to just haul a log behind a pickup truck, as he's going out to take pictures or ask, kind of thing.
Yeah,
for $1 a mile, it's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
That's what we were blading roads into a massive property. We were creating, thousands and thousands of acres. We were creating 40-acre properties. So
okay.
They had a lot of work.
That rate might not be applicable anymore, is what you're saying.
Well, like if you're going to blade, thousands of miles of road.
All right.
Or whatever it ends up being. Hundreds and hundreds of miles of roads. It works out okay.
Got it. And
then we actually paid the guy who was local to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Manage the property so that somebody wanted to go take a look at it, he would take them out there and stuff. So we paid him to do a lot of stuff. It was all part of the deal. In this case, you could probably expect to pay under $1,000 for a local company to go in there and just grade the heck out of it.
Yeah.
There's so much more to it than that. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with improving property. You think it's just as simple as what you just said.
Right.
Who are you going to upset? Probably everybody who can hear this thing firing. You're going to fire this. The guy's going to fire it up at 4 a.m.
Oh.
These people live out in the middle of nowhere for
so
a reason.
Funny. Yeah.
You're going to upset everybody. He's going to meet. And when they get upset, they start calling the county. Well, it's 3 inches on my property.
Oh.
So it's never the real estate that's the problem. It's the people. It's the people at the county. It's the people who buy it, the people who sell it.
Why does there have to be a problem? Why do we go to there's a problem? I just have to ask.
Here's what's almost never a problem.
There's a problem.
Buying a piece of real estate and then selling it for more. And that's it.
under
it's
the radar.
almost problem free. Almost every single deal we do, totally problem free.
I don't know why you have to. You assume there's going to be a problem.
Oh, Jill, really?
I'll fix it. That's my job. You know what? Do you know how many problems don't make it to you?
I know.
I got this.
I can't thank you enough for that.
It's okay. You're welcome.
You know how many deals get to you that would not probably ever get to you?
And I appreciate that too.
So we're all winning.
You keep the awful properties out, and I take care of the problems.
All right, so go blade your road and expect problems. And hopefully there's someone in your life like Jill that can make sure they go away.
It's okay.
Today's topic? That was sort of today's topic.
Kind of was.
Today's topic, creating access for your land. That was this is the meat of the show. That was a perfect example of creating access for your land.
Can I say what the 4 A's are real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so.
Good memory.
Thank you.
Can you remember what they are?
I do remember what they are. Okay, so here's the deal. Many years ago, Stephen, came up with this whole concept. And it was before me. Yeah. You came up with this, but you just quickly, I'm sure I can just imagine you having this brainstorm like, look, before we pull the trigger on properties, we got to make sure it passes these 4 tests. And you know what? It's 4 A's. That's what it is. So before you buy a property, you want to make sure you want to check these 4 things. Then you know if it's a good deal or not, and then you know how to proceed. So number 1, access, like today. Can you get there? Can you not get there? You need to know, does it have access? And if it does, that's great.
That's true.
That's the perfect thing. Number 2, acreage. How big is it? Usually, the larger the better. Usually. If we're talking infill lots, still you want bigger than better, kind of thing. But it's a whole different ballgame depending what you're buying. So we have access, we have acreage. We have affordability. That's a no-brainer.
Better.
Exactly. We want to make sure it's affordable for not only you as the buyer, but think about who's buying from you. Think about the seller and where you're going with this property. And the last one, which is just, it sounds like it's a fluff one, but it's not. It's just as important, attribute. Like think about what we talked about yesterday on making your property stand out. Throwing it, hauling an RV or hauling something on it. Now that's an attribute. That's something unique about it. Other attributes that we cover are there trees? Is it
mountain view?
Is it close to something cool? Close to Vegas? Who knows?
It on a beach?
Is it on a beach? Is it wherever it is? By a ski resort, by a lake, on a lake, on an island.
Next to your mother-in-law. Can you imagine?
Hello.
You imagine if we lived next to your mom?
That would be interesting. It would be fine.
Or my dad.
Or your dad. So everything's perfect right now. So anyway, those are the 4 A's.
Can you imagine if your mom struck up a relationship with my dad? I just thought of that.
Where did you go? Where did this come from?
For us and them.
Why are you even thinking about that?
Your mom would chew my dad up and spit him out. It's too much woman for him.
Oh my goodness. Where are you going? Okay, anyway, not about my mom. Or your dad.
Move next to your mother.
Move on. So access. Okay, I just described the 4 A's. Stephen, will you please share more about access with us?
So there's 2 types of access.
And
Number 1,
access.
Physical access, just like the person who asked the question today. You looked on Google Earth, that's the first thing you do. The first thing I do is go on to Parcel Fact, F-A-C-T, which is a company we own and it's free, and just find the property, because finding property without a physical address, a mailing address, is tough. Yeah. So we created this whole website that locates it just with the APN, State County APN, Assessor's Parcel Number. You find it, and you got a good shot of Google Earth, a very good shot right in Parcel Fact itself. Then I usually take the GPS coordinates that are in Parcel Fact and go on to Google Earth Pro and really get in there and take a look at a 3-dimensional view and look at the grade and whatever else can happen. And usually at that point you can really see, unless there's heavy tree cover, if you can get to it or not.
It's true.
Within reason. So that's like kind of test 1. That if you get that far, that's a really good sign. The chances are, and you don't even look at any of this stuff unless the price is right. Mm-hmm. Then the second type of access you look for is legal access, which is what we referred to in the call with the question. has it been platted? So in a lot of rural areas, it's never been platted in. You have to
Right.
cross someone else's land to get to.
So that dirt road
Your
you're
property.
seeing, someone made a long time ago, and 80 people have been using it this whole time, and it doesn't mean it's real. So you have to make sure.
Again, most of these issues, even if it's not legal and the whole thing, you can get around it.
Right.
What you don't want to do, and this is really the kind of the takeaway from this, and Jill and I made a conscious decision a long time ago. There's properties out west, not so much east, but west, that are like a square in the middle of a county, and there's no chance in hell you're going to get there.
Right.
Now that said, there's a huge group of people out there that want that property. They want to not be found for whatever reason. And we used to be a long time ago, we would buy anything. This is way before Joe. We need access now for a lot of reasons. We're a lot more public now, and we just made a conscious decision just to not make those kinds of deals. But we have people in our group who seek that out.
Right.
They seek out rock bottom price property, and then they go create access, like we're talking about.
Right.
So we could do a whole podcast actually on access. There's the way you get access. The easiest way is to talk.
Oh, you mean a whole show?
No, I mean a whole podcast about getting access.
Right. Okay, that's all you talk about?
This is a whole show.
Okay,
This is a whole
say,
episode.
like, what are you talking about? Not just an episode, a daily show about access?
Yeah, so really quickly, access, the best way to do it is to call your neighbor, find out who owns the property that you need to go through to get to yours,
Or look
and ask them
online.
if it's okay.
We have all that too.
And if they're a cool person, they'll say, yeah, sure, as long as it doesn't cost me anything, and I'm only giving up the west half, the 30 feet of the west half, or pay me $5,000 and fine.
Right.
That's the absolute right legal way to do it. But I'm telling you, you're going to spend a year doing this.
I also want to say, don't put any money into it until you know. Like, make sure that you're not. The last thing, what would break my heart the most is if you go out there, you hire someone, and you have it perfect this road without doing your homework yet to make sure, and then someone says, no, you can't do that, and you're like, great, I just wasted $1,500.
Here's the other thing.
Is.
When you start digging around like this, and you get straight answers from the county and from everyone else, and you find out the property doesn't have any access, legal access, you have to disclose that. You are bound by real estate laws to disclose what you know.
Even though you're not an agent.
If you never ask any questions,
Right.
and you simply post the property 20 seconds after you buy it for $20,000 more,
Right.
and you say down there, I have not researched access, I don't know if this property has access, you're not lying. You're not doing anything wrong. Please check on access before you buy this property. The value and the price of the property is reflected here.
Right.
And by the way, I don't know anything else about it. I just know what I saw on Google Earth, which is all true. It's all true.
Exactly.
You don't want to lie, ever.
Exactly.
Or you don't want to buy clearly accessless property, which is what Jill and I, that's a rule we have. It's hard.
It is.
You get a 180-acre piece of property that's 20 minutes outside of Las Vegas. It doesn't have access, and you can buy it for $4,000.
Right.
188. This is true. This stuff
Right.
happens to us all the time. We don't buy it.
Yeah. Because I don't want to hang on to it that long to find the right person or go through the work and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to need something.
It's such a stigma.
Yeah.
Accessless property is, to anybody who's in the business in any capacity, from Toll Brothers all the way down to a used car real estate agent level person.
Right.
Everybody hates lack of access.
Yeah.
We just had dinner with some people inadvertently in Santa Barbara, and there's a huge thing. They buy houses and they clean them all up. And there's a huge thing going on right now because none of the driveways, or so the county and the city say, are platted incorrectly. They're all encroaching on other people's property, and they're 2 or 3 inches too far over, so they have to tear the whole thing out, regrade it, and make it right. And a lot of times you can't do it. The properties are so small. So you have to ask yourself, is this the kind of career you want?
Right.
Do you want to deal with problems like this? Do you want to be a contractor? I don't.
Exactly.
You know what I want to do? Buy a piece of property and sell it for more.
You know what I want to do? Go hang out on the beach.
I want to do that too,
Okay,
actually.
good. Thank you. Since we're all talking about what we really want to do.
I'm more of a hangout at the library kind of person, but yeah, I understand the hanging out part of it.
Thank you.
We all want to do what we want to do. We don't want to do
Exactly.
stuff we don't want to do.
Isn't that why
It's
we're
as
all
simple
here?
as that.
Yeah, so think about this. This is, I'd like to end on, for me, I'm going to end on this. You may have 10 more minutes in you.
No, I don't. Not on this topic. I don't.
Okay. My end on thing is think about why we're in this business and think about why we chose land. We chose something by design that we could buy and easily, quickly sell. It doesn't need work. I don't have to stand there. I don't even have to put a lockbox on the door. I just have to make sure I just got to make sure it's a good property, right? Transfer it correctly, make sure my pictures are awesome, and then sit back and let the money flow in so I can be on the beach.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you. That's it for me.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy show. Join us tomorrow where we talk about leaving your land alone. Finally.
And answer your questions posted on landinvestors.com. It is our own online community. It's all about land and it's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Whew.
Are you going to go with me on the beach?
Go where?
Oh, you don't want to go sit on the beach?
I'll go sit on the beach absolutely with you.
Okay, cool.
I absolutely would be happy to go sit on the beach, maybe have some food, drink a couple glasses of wine. I think it'd be fun.
I like that. We might have dinner on the beach tonight.
That sounds perfect.
Thank you. Share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you are listening. And while you're at it, please rate us there.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.